Hello there. Sorry. I know I've only posted one video on this channel so far. Uh, I've actually recorded two other ones, and one's about an hour long, one's about 40 minutes long, and then another. Actually, no, I've done three. The third one's like 30 minutes long. And I've been waiting for a while to see if the files would sync to my phone. Yada 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 yada. They really haven't, and I'm assuming it's because they're extremely long. So, what I'm gonna do instead is record like 9-minute long videos talking about the game. So there will be quite a few, but I'll try to keep it as organized as physically possible. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I've in one of the other videos. I'm not entirely sure what I've already gone through, but I think I've already talked about the scenarios. These are just presets, like power limit. This turns on power limit and from the custom modifiers. Gives you supernova power, which is an unstable star, which solar power, and it gives you the basic starting fleet. These are all essentially presets to custom, which we are going to go in depth as much as I can in the 8 minutes and 20 seconds that are left. First and foremost, as you already know, if you've already played the campaign and the tutorial, which I believe I've already suggested that you do, if you haven't already, please do that. Pause the video, do that. If you don't have time for it right now, that's cool. Anyways, if you already know, there's two teams. At the very least, there's going to be two teams, and maybe one day they'll come out with the sandbox mode, which used to be in beta. It isn't currently, but it will most likely come back at some point. So there's always just about, excluding sandbox, about two teams, and it can go up to 5 teams. Now, if you put it all the way up to 5 teams, you can only play certain maps, which I'm not gonna count. I think that's like 4 or 5 teams, or sorry, 4 or 5 maps, and then you can see you have a very a much larger amount of maps you can play with 4 teams, because some maps don't they just don't work with more than 4 teams. So keep that in mind if you're looking for a specific map and you and your friends want to play with, say, 4 different teams and maybe even 5, and you want to play with a bot. Keep that in mind. If you want to play Asteroid with 5 teams, you can't, because Asteroid doesn't support, or Asteroid does not support 5-team maps, or a 5-team on the map. The bot difficulty just increases the difficulty of the bots, obviously. You can put that together yourself. I don't think the bots are really that difficult. Really, the difficulty just makes them do the things that they normally do faster. That's about it. Every single bot that I've come across, at least, all the way from easy to insane, they always have 100% throwing accuracy, so they can throw ships from, say, here all the way to over there. 100% of the time, they will not miss. Sometimes it'll get pulled into a moon, but that's expected. Bots aren't exactly perfect. But yeah, that's half of that, just about. A little over half of team count. The starting fleet, I'll run down all the ships quickly because I have 6 minutes left in this. Sorry, I have stick drift. I'll go over the starting fleet. So this right here is the basic. Oh, sorry. This right here is the basic starting fleet. This is the normal laser. You'll come across that quite a lot. This is the basic shield. This is the basic missile. Now the laser, it can only shoot so far, just like every single ship. It has average range from what I can tell, and whenever it locks onto a target, once it starts to shoot, the moment it shoots, it will hit its target unless there is a shield blocking the laser. Now keep that in mind. So if you're dicking around or doing whatever you want around a planet, and there's a laser that just so happens to see the things in your hand, they will get shot out of your hand. So be careful of that. That's very, very, very common. When you're moon hunting, somebody will come up and snipe them out of your hand, or snipe them while you're taking moons to stop you. The shield, I just touched on the shield moment, or for a moment there. The shield, it blocks lasers. That's literally it. It could not get any more simple. The shield isn't always up, and it only covers from about that far out from the shield, roughly, and in a big old dome in front of it. So the shield will always face towards a target, but the shield does not stay on permanently. It turns off momentarily when it's not in combat, but it turns back on when it goes into combat. It has one of the largest self ranges in the game, from what I can tell. It reaches farther than most lasers and missiles and stuff like that. The turrets, or the ships that I've seen that have the largest range, I think, are torpedoes, shields, and I think heavy explosive battleships or whatever. I think I'll have to check that. But The missile. It's essentially the laser, but instead of shooting a hit scan laser, which hit scan is, it will always hit its target unless there's something blocking it. The missile, when it locks onto its target, it shoots out a little, obviously a missile, and it will target, say, this laser. If there's a bunch of other troops around that one targeted laser, and those troops get in the way of the missile will not explode on contact with those other troops. It will only explode on contact with the troop that it is targeting. So keep that in mind. And that same thing applies to missile turrets you'll find on planets and occasionally moons and sometimes even the sun. Um, and also there's another type of turret, which I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. The other type of turret is essentially the laser ship, but it hovers moons and planets. But yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Also, the missiles, by the way, once they go far enough, they'll eventually explode on their own. So keep that in mind. You can't just mess around with the missile forever. It will eventually explode. So keep that in mind. You don't want it to explode while it's in the middle of your fleet, because you will lose quite a lot of troops. Especially early game, that's absolutely abhorrent. You do not want to happen. You do not want that to happen to you. Now, this is a great segue into the point defense. Now, point defense, its one and only purpose in life is to either be cannon fodder or to destroy, missiles. That's all it does. It's used for absolutely nothing else. Maybe later they'll add something different, but I'll touch on that if they release an update on that. Point defense turrets. They essentially, if they see a missile in their little view range, I don't exactly know how their targeting works. Same thing goes with the explosive battleship. I'll have to talk to one of the devs or somebody else who knows a little bit more about that. They will, if they see a missile flying by them, they will shoot it. They shoot extremely quickly, but they will not defend themselves. They do not defend themselves like a missile, a torpedo, a sniper. Actually, never mind, snipers do not defend themselves. They don't defend themselves like a laser, shield, torpedo, heavy battleship, anything that will actually defend themselves. But they will stop missiles if the missiles are flying by them. Other than that, they're absolutely useless. But that one little purpose they're given makes them absolutely amazing to have. So keep that in mind when you're in game. They're also signified with this icon if you haven't already put that together yourself. They can be made on special production planets like this one right here, and you can tell this planet is a special production planet if you see an icon above it. Same thing goes for the sniper one. Makes specifically snipers. This one makes specifically point defense. If a moon brings something to this planet, and this is a planet that has an icon above it, this planet will only make a troop of this kind. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to quickly touch on the rest if I can. The torpedo is essentially the rocket, but it does not. The missiles do not lock onto a target. They will explode on contact with anything, if I'm not mistaken. And they shoot three missiles in a barrage that are inaccurate. Keep that in mind. They're very dangerous. They have some very good range. The heavy laser is literally just the normal laser, but it shoots an explosive shot, shoots faster, and has to be closer to start shooting. The heavy battleship, I'd mentioned that before. That's essentially the shield and the heavy laser mixed together. And it also has the targeting of the point defense. It's kind of awkward. The shield around the battleship covers it in its entirety, but it is only up when it goes into combat. Keep that in mind. The sniper will only shoot things that other... Okay, it's difficult to explain this. I have 40 seconds left. A pink sniper will only shoot red troops if red troops are attacking pink troops. That's it. That's as simple as I can get it. Sorry, I'm trying to rush through these things. I'm trying to make these as short as possible so I can actually bring them over in media sync, because it's weird. I've never actually had to record something and post it. So yeah, that's the gist of that. Sorry if I went by everything quickly. If you have any questions, just ask in the comments. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Eventually these videos will be made of better quality, maybe a better mic, better explanations, but as of right now, yeah, I'm just trying to make them short. Thank you for watching.